There's a lot about Arkansas you probably already know. Great lakes, great rivers, great streams, great hiking, great hunting, great camping. But did you know that 95% of all of the farm-raised bait fish in the country comes from Arkansas? One more reason why being in Arkansas is great. Welcome to Arkansas's Great Outdoors. You've heard of Idaho potatoes and Florida oranges. Remember the California raisins. Well, what is our wonderful entry? Arkansas bait fish, the national leader by far. Perhaps you've wondered what all those neatly organized ponds are if you flew over eastern Arkansas. Well, all that water is for some very small fish with a big impact on our state. It's a $400 million industry providing the bait that makes fishing great all over America. And here's how the magic happens. Getting a minnow to your bait shop takes more than just a few moving parts. It's an entire operation with years of innovation to get that minnow to your hook. It all starts with a hatchery. About 20 years ago, most of the certified bait fish farms realized the benefits of a controlled environment. Weather was no longer a factor and such a vital part of the entire process. The eggs are laid on mats and then the mats are placed in temperature-controlled tanks. After several days, the young fish are placed in ponds. These ponds range from just a couple of acres in size to as large as 75 acres. Aerators and food make these ponds the growing stage for the next few months, depending on the desired size. Ponds typically are 4 feet deep or less. Once the fish are ready to go, the ponds are seined. Big nets come and get the harvest and place them in a truck to head back to the holding tanks. Once in the tanks, they are sized to match the desired specs and placed in the cooler water to help the fish adapt for the trip ahead. Shipping takes place either in trucks from the farm or FedEx. Either way, these fish are healthy, hardy, and safe from start to finish. A little later in the show, we'll travel to some farms and show you some of the amazing innovations that make the bait great. But first, let's visit with Mallory Lindsay from Bad Boy Mowers for some great hiking tips in the natural state.
Even when enjoying the great outdoors by yourself, chances are you'll probably encounter someone on the trail. And just like anything in life, it's important to be respectful. And there's actually trail etiquette to follow. When going downhill, technically the person coming up has a right of way. Usually they're going to want to step aside to take a breather, but it's always good to give them the first opportunity to pass. When it comes to right of way between a mountain biker and a hiker, technically the hiker has the first opportunity to pass. However, it's a lot easier for a hiker to step out of the way than it is for a high-speeding bike to stop. Last but not least, leave no trace. Plan ahead to make sure that you can pack out what you pack in.
Thank you, Mallory. Now we will have her hiking tips all season long right here on Arkansas's Great Outdoors. Now let's get to one of my favorite segments in the show. It's called First Fish, where we take somebody who has never caught a fish before and they catch their first fish on camera. And it reminds us all of what it was like when we felt that first magic tug at the end of the line. Today's angler is 15-year-old Peter Snow, who traveled all the way from Provo, Utah, across 5 states to come to Arkansas to catch his first fish. He knows where to go for good first fish fishing. You've been waiting for this for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I understand you've been reading up and practicing casting.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But we still have yet to get that first fish.
Yeah.
We're going to do it on camera today.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. We got a little spinning rod set up right here.
Sweet.
Already got him rigged up here about 2 feet below the bobber. And then we got a double split shot almost halfway through there to kind of, you want that weight, see how the weight kind of pulls it down? You want that minnow to be down below the surface of the water. Sometimes if you don't put the split shot, then he'll end up just floating up to the top of the surface. We want to get him down there where the beasts are.
Cool.
Okay? All right, so we're going to rig him up with a minnow right now. And Peter's going to rig him right up there, just right there by the mouth. Just like
That's
so.
good.
Yeah, we've been in the current for a little while, so This is one of those things where you gotta let the fish tell you what to do. You come in with a game plan, what you think's gonna catch a fish, and if it doesn't, then you start making adjustments. All right, let's reel it in. Let's put a fresh minnow on. And we're gonna work down this bank right here. Let's recast,
Yeah,
pick it up
I was
and
gonna say,
see if we can get it just on the other side of where that log, in between the log and the bank.
Oh, whoa, that's a
He's
lot of-
good. Oh, that's, oh, look at there, you got one. Set the, all
my
right,
gosh.
good deal, reel it in, look at that.
Whoa. Oh, no. No.
We've been thinking we needed to go about 2 feet deep, but that was with the anticipation that we were going to be fishing in about 4 feet. What we're finding is most of the activity is along the shoreline where it's about 2 feet deep. So we're going to adjust this bobber and bring it down so that it is now closer to about a 2 foot depth. Oh, there we go. Set that hook. All right, reel it in. Reel, reel, reel. Keep reeling, keep reeling. Oh, did he pop off?
The next adjustment was minnow size. We downgraded to a smaller minnow, and once again, the boat was filled with optimism.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
Him
man.
coming towards you. Oh, that's good. Okay, sit, pull it up, pull it up. There we go, there we go. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
You got yourself a crappie. That is a crappie. Good deal.
Oh,
Okay, so you got to hold it. So hold it up for the camera. All right, so just pinch it hard because he's
Okay.
gonna flop, but nothing sharp here, so you'll be fine. Just grab it. There you go. There we go. Yeah.
Success! Welcome to the club, Peter.
my first one. If we're allowed to, I think we should eat it.
You think we should eat it?
Yo, yeah.
All right. Okay, I have a feeling it's gonna be for dinner tonight. All right, put you another minnow on and let's catch another one.
Oh, yeah.
You're an angler now.
Oh, yeah.
In no time, the pattern proved itself to the young angler.
No, your minnow's moving. That's good. Okay, go, reel it. Pick it up, reel. Ah, yeah, reel, reel, reel. What do we got here?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. All right. 2 crappie.
2. There we go.
There you go.
2. That was nice.
And why stop now?
Oh, pull up hard like you. Yep. You got another fish. Yes.
Oh, jeez, this one's fighting. This one's really fighting.
Yeah.
Is that another crappie?
Yeah, another crappie. Yep. There you go. That
That's
is
number
crappie
3.
number 3.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, the main course just got bigger.
Indeed it did. Peter Snow, you caught your first fish, and your 5-state journey earned a great southern feast. Crappie along with fried okra. Coming up, we've got some advice on how to match the right arrow with your bow from our friends at Archer's Advantage in Sherwood. And also a very unique way to learn how to tie knots from our friends at the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, mow with an attitude, by H2O Marine, and by Archer's Advantage.
Where haven't we gone? What hasn't been done? What's still left to be discovered and possible beyond the horizon? How can we continue pushing limits, breaking boundaries, and leading the way? At Bad Boy, it's not just about finding the answers, it's about the pursuit. Bad Boy, mow with an attitude.
Hey, this is Ryan with Archer's Advantage. I want to speak to you a minute today about arrow spine. Your arrow spine is very important, that it's matched to your bow so that it fits you and your bow. Too stiff an arrow, you won't get the proper arrow flight. Too weak of an arrow spine, it can actually be dangerous and you can hurt yourself or somebody else when you shoot. Arrow spine has to do with how much your arrows flex. The lighter spine of the arrow, the higher the number, which means it will flex more, it bends more. The arrow will be lighter in actual weight. The heavier spine arrow, it will flex less and the arrow will actually be heavier in weight. The heavier your bow, the heavier the weight of your arrowhead, it needs to be matched. You need a stiffer spined arrow for that. When we sell a bow here at Archer's Advantage, we set you up with the proper arrows that you need to shoot out of your equipment. If you have any questions about arrows, arrow spine, arrow length, head weight, we can help you here at Archer's Advantage.
Our friends at Archer's Advantage will be with us all season long with tips on how to enjoy Arkansas's great outdoors. Now let's head over to Duvall's Bluff for the ponds and the history of Harry Saul's Minnow Farm with one of the great slogans, "Good things come to those who bait."
I'm Margie Saul. My husband James and I are second-generation aquaculture farmers here at Duvall's Bluff, Arkansas.
Well, my mother and dad started out in 1950, and before they married, my dad was actually trapping and seining minnows out of the river. He was a river rat, and she come out of the cotton field. And after a lot of hard work, we get to live the easy life and work 7 days a week.
Hi, my name's Jennifer, and this is my brother William. We are third-generation aquaculture farmers in Duvall's Bluff, Arkansas.
My grandfather's brother had been in the Pacific Theater of World War II, and he came back from the war, and my grandfather met him at the bus station down here in Duvall's Bluff, and he said, "Bob, I know where there's some nets and they're already tarred if you've got the money." And Bob had a pocket full of war money, and they went and bought commercial fishing nets, and they put them out on the river that weekend, and they caught enough fish out of the river that weekend to pay for the nets. And basically that was the beginnings of our family being in the aquaculture industry. We've both been blessed with good lives because of the sacrifice and hard work of the generations that came before us.
It's also a lot of hard work. No sleeping late on Saturday mornings.
Yeah,
Boo didn't always do his chores, you know, but lots of picking up chunks and driving tractors and dirt pans and getting to spend time with mom and dad out on the farm and learned how to work. You learned a lot of work ethic.
One of the competitors that we have is wild bait. Up in the northern part of the United States, there's an industry that basically goes out and harvests fish from the wild for bait fish and then takes and moves them to a different part of the country. And from the environmental standpoint, there's a lot of risk there. They can move a non-native species from one part of the country to another part of the country. There's certain diseases like VHS and that sort of thing that if they take it from one body of water and then put it in a body of water that hasn't been exposed to that disease, it can be catastrophic.
That's where the certification process comes in. The Arkansas Department of Agriculture performs a series of tests multiple times a year to certify healthy, hardy, and safe bait makes it to your bait shop all over the country.
What we're trying to do is to be able to differentiate our product from their product. We have an Arkansas Bait and Ornamental Fish Growers Association certification. It certifies that we're free of certain aquatic diseases and certain nuisance species. And what that does, it lets regulators know and our customers know that the product that we're sending to them, it was born on this farm, it was raised on this farm, it was cared for on this farm, it was put into our trucks, and then it was delivered to their location.
It is a family farm, and we did grow up here. We did work here. We helped build all of these ponds after my grandfather and my dad started working that. We did that together as siblings, and we want families to know that spending time fishing together is still really important. It's those moments when you get to be together and where you bind your family together. And this is a very important heritage for us. We love how we grew up. We learned how to work hard, but we also learned how to love hard.
As a father, I don't think you can have anything mean any more to you than having your children come back into your business. And grandchildren, just one step better.
We do have our second, third, and fourth generation right now that are working on the farm, and we are selling to our second, third, and fourth generation customers.
Well, and it's good to have a place for your kids and your grandkids to be involved in the outdoors.
Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, mow with an attitude, by H2O Marine, and by Archer's Advantage.
The best leaders don't just forge ahead. they adjust. Bad Boy Mowers has made adjustments at every turn, including our revolutionary 3-link suspension. Built tough and designed for superior performance and speed. Adjust the seat, handles, and pedals however you want. And as for Bad Boy's rebellious spirit, well, that hasn't adjusted at all. Bad Boy, mow with an attitude.
The weather is getting ready for some prime Arkansas fishing, and so we're dedicating this episode to helping you get ready as well. Now, coming up, we've got a great tip on how to get your boat ready for action, but first, we've got some knot tying tips from our friends at the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
Hi guys, Mark Dyer with Arkansas Game and Fish Commission Aquatic Resource Education Program. I am an educational program technician there, and today I'm here to talk to you about a few knots we're going to use in our live bait fishing. The first knot that we're going to start with is called a Palomar knot. We're going to pass through the eye of the hook, and then we're going to take our line, go back over itself, go back through the eye of the hook. So we've kind of got it where the rope is or the line would be on a bite. So then we're just going to tie a simple overhand knot. Hope I've got enough rope here so we can pass our tiny little hook that we have through our knot. Guys, I don't really fish with this thing, but it's great for illustrating knots. So we're going to take it, and that's going to cinch down. Now, one of the things when you're fishing with your line, be very careful that we don't get our line in a bind right here in this portion of the hook, because it can cut your line if you have a hook that the gap's not closed very well on. We just want to make sure that that continues to cinch down and ends up right on top like that. And there's our Palomar knot. This knot will be probably one of the most common knots in fishing. That's why they call it the fisherman's knot. The other name for this would be the improved clinch knot. So again, we'll start by passing our line through the eye. Then we want to take our tag in and begin to wrap about 5 wraps. All right, so once we have our 5 wraps, we go back through the eye that we created, and here we'll gradually, this rope's a little bit more difficult, but gradually we'll loop down, and that is our finished improved clinch knot.
Wintertime fishing isn't for everyone, but I'll give you a sneak peek into the next episode where we do some deep water crappie fishing in sub-freezing temperatures.
It's a balmy low 30s right now, and we're on a lake.
That's right, Lake Eck.
Lake Eck.
It was successful and it tasted great, and that's coming up next time on Arkansas's Great Outdoors. Now let's help you get your boat ready for some bass fishing action right here in Arkansas from the guys who know at H2O Sports and Marine in Sherwood. All right, we've got Herb from H2O Sports and Marine here with us, and a lot of guys don't like to fish when the temperature drops at all. And so what ends up happening is about the time springtime comes around, they haven't used their boat for 4 or 5 months. What do we need to be aware of for the first time we crank it up in springtime?
Well, that's a great question, because that's the average fisherman in this state. They're hunting and they're doing everything else, so the boat's just been setting. The number one thing is definitely you want to check the battery. If you do have a lot of people have them, call them elephant ears, that we're able to put on the motor and be able to feed it water, we're able to start it and let it run a little bit. The biggest problem we've been seeing though is fuel. Fuel has been a big issue. Because if it sits for a long time and you've got that removable tank, you can test it, obviously, by pouring it in something clear and see the difference between the fuel and the water. Big thing we've been seeing is fuel lines. You need to go back there and look at your fuel line on your engine. Your primer bulb, if it's all cracked up, and then you see that the hose is cracked up, that's basically from either sitting outside or just getting old. It's a simple, easy fix, but if you can't feed it fuel, she isn't gonna run. For sure. I always like to go through a quick check of hitting switches. What I mean by hitting switches, I want to make sure that my nav lights are still good. I want to make sure that my bilge pump works for sure, and I want to make sure my live well pumps work, which you can hear them run. All you have to do is just hit the switch to turn them on themselves, and you can go to the back of the boat and open up the compartment and you can hear the whistle. pumps themselves, because that's kind of important. The last thing you want to do is get out on the water, and you can't put water in a live well, or if you have minnows you're fishing with or anything like that, or get water out with the bills.
Okay. So that's some good tips for you guys. If you're bringing the boat out for the first time in a few months, pay attention to this, and also bring it into a dealership. H2O Sports and Marine will help take care of your boat and get you that annual maintenance so everything runs smoothly. You can spend your time catching fish instead of having to flag somebody down.
Yeah, hey, get to us early, you know, because then we're able to get you out early for sure before the season really gets cranked up. Thanks again.
Coming up next, a look at how the Arkansas Department of Agriculture keeps the bait safe so you can catch more fish. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, mow with an attitude, by H2O Marine, and by Archer's Advantage.
Where haven't we gone? What hasn't been done? What's still left to be discovered and possible beyond the horizon? How can we continue pushing limits, breaking boundaries, and leading the way? At Bad Boy, it's not just about finding the answers, it's about the pursuit. Bad Boy, mow with an attitude.
We talk a lot about bait here in Arkansas. Our minnow farms lead the nation when it comes to keeping us fishing. At the beginning of the show, we talked about this industry, which is $400 million a year annually, and what an economic impact it is for our state. But that's made possible by a certification process that helps the other 49 states know that the bait they get from Arkansas is healthy, hearty, and safe. Welcome to the Arkansas Department of Agriculture. This is where a team of scientists takes samples from every farm to make sure safe bait stays safe. Meet Dr. Nylema. How many fish come through here when it's testing season?
So it depends on 10,000 to 12,000 fish per season. So we do all kinds of different bait fish species, and we follow according to their regulations or where they are shipping their fish. So every state, whatever they are shipping their fish, we follow those regulations and then we test accordingly.
All right, so what do we do next with these guys?
So now they are sleeping, so we will take them to another lab and add some 70% alcohol to it so that they will be clean from outside and we can do their bacterial checking over there.
These scientists are looking for both bacteria and viruses. Yes, we use the word virus. The fish don't have COVID, but the same PCR test used to find COVID in humans will also find bad viruses in fish.
It's the same type of test, exact same type of test. Yeah, you can look for all kinds of viruses that way.
The kidneys and the spleen provide the best target-rich environments for the testing.
I'm going to collect kidney and just get a little bit of that right there. And then the spleen is the hard part, can be. Different fish, it likes to hide. It's always near the intestines. And then we'll do this 4 more times and then collect that in our little collection bags. Then they're mixed with a buffer and homogenized, basically making a puree around, and then that is taken up to our virology department for PCR testing for viruses.
Gerald Dizelle works with all sizes of animals, and this is one of the smaller ones. And these fish are smaller animals than what you're used to dealing with.
Very much so.
What other animals do you deal with besides this?
Oh gosh, well, just for example, we have a cow.
Okay.
So I'm necropsy right now. Kidney is pretty easy to find here.
I guess the kidney on a cow is a little bit bigger.
Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe it. Yes, sir.
Next stop is the virology department.
And essentially what we're wanting to do is develop all these chemical components together to eventually put into a machine that replicates that pathogen to a detectable level. And then from there we can put it into our thermocyclers after creating this master mix that will allow us to amplify that particular pathogen if it's in the sample. And if it's not in the sample, then it's non-detected and the customers are happy, we're happy.
Everything's good to go.
Yep.
Okay, so if it all comes back clean, we're in good shape.
We're in good shape. That's what we want to see.
No cells are dead, then we know we've got it good. But if we've got a problem, then what happens?
If we've got a problem, then that's when we take it a step further and we do PCR testing.
Okay.
And see what we've got there and you know, is it truly a virus or was there just something else that contaminated the sample?
A lot of your viewers probably have some favorite fishing holes, maybe even some secret ones, and nobody wants the disease or the parasite getting into their body of water, especially when it could be prevented by this program, which is voluntary, that the bait fish producers here in Arkansas participate in.
And that is how it all happens. You've seen how the fish are grown, and now you know all the science and scientists behind what makes it healthy, hearty, and safe. And that is how the magic happens. You can be proud of your Arkansas bait farmers, and you'll be thrilled with what's at the end of your line when you're using certified Arkansas bait fish. Now, next time on Arkansas's Great Outdoors, we'll take you to the amazing Lake X. It's mysterious and it's cold. Thank you for watching Arkansas's Great Outdoors.